Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Well, as of yesterday, which was the beginning of this new week, the Nifty traded in a very narrow band of just about 120 points at the start of this week, but it locked the second day of losses right there by the end of the session. But there was plenty of stock-specific action which kept the traders and investors busy, from wealth-creating stocks to metal stocks. There were several pockets, consumer durables, that continued to garner all the attention from investors. Although on the other hand, we did see the FMCG stocks bear the brunt of Brokerage consumers' margin warning during the ongoing quarter that led to sharp losses across the board, and all the stocks did end with sharp losses right there. But as of now, when we move into a Tuesday session, there's a whole lot that the markets will be reacting to, especially the currency and the bond markets will also be reacting to after the big announcement that came in last evening, and that was that Revenue Secretary Sanjay Malhotra will be now the new Reserve Bank of India governor and will take over from Shaktikanta Das after his 6-year stint at the helm of India's central bank has come into the end as well. Apart from this, we will also look at how the global market cues are shaping up, and especially again the FIIs have once again turned buyers in the Indian markets after a days of selling. We've seen 725 odd crore rupees worth of stocks being bought by the FIIs. We'll see how it goes. Good morning to all our viewers and good morning, Shail.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lovely Tuesday morning in Delhi, and we'll probably have a nice consolidating session on Dalal Street yet again. But two important news. One is, of course, the appointment of Mr. Sanjay Malhotra, the current Revenue Secretary, as the 26th Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Mr. Malhotra steps in to the economy as also on Mint Street at a time when there is this huge demand for a rate cut to boost sagging growth, and at the same time to control inflation, especially food inflation, which is buffeting the economy. And one word for Dr. Shaktikanta Das: his 6-year tenure as the Governor of Reserve Bank of India ends on a very high note. He's piloted the economy during and post demonetization. He's taken care of the economy at a time when there was a crisis all around because of COVID. He has shepherded the economy at a time when there were two global wars and they had practically destroyed global supply chains, and he has done that with elan. He's done that with a lot of humility, and he's done that with a lot of grace. So full marks to him, and the market bids goodbye to a fine gentleman. Let's hope that we see him again in a better and a bigger avatar, and that will be something that the markets are looking forward to. But a very warm welcome for Mr. Sanjay Malhotra, who's the present Revenue Secretary and takes over today evening as the 26th Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the daily chart of the Nifty. And as Sakshi has been pointing out, 2 days of rest after 3 weeks of supernormal gains. Sakshi, the Nifty, and in particular the Bank Nifty, have reclaimed about 50% of their losses that they had incurred from the late September high point in their life to the early part of December, and the markets are now very evenly poised. What will depend ahead will also be how the Chinese markets react. They've come up with a great stimulus to boost at least the metals and the real estate sector. So a lot will depend upon our foreign friends. You've mentioned the number which has come in today, about 750 crores of net investments. Let's hope this continues. But at the moment, 24,600 is what we have on the Nifty, and this is a very delicate moment for Indian equities. We could go towards 25,000 if 24,800 is breached, but we could again slip back to 24,200, 23,800 if 24,400 is breached. So much will depend upon how FIIs react from here, and how the expectations get built up in the economy because of a new entrant on Mint Street. Apart from that, again, it's going to be a sector specific, stock specific day as far as markets are concerned. The sector on top will be obviously metals. You will see metals outperforming, particularly JSW Steel. A lot of positive data coming in for the month of November for JSW Steel, which is the second largest maker of steel in our country. Apart from that, BEL is something that I'm looking forward to. The company has announced an order inflow of about 634 crores rupees in the past month. Current order book is somewhere like 8,800 crores. Keep these two stocks in mind. Of course, Syngene has announced an offer for sale which is coming in from parent Biocon for roughly about 660 crores. That is about 2% of its equity at about 825 rupees. Keep both Syngene and Biocon on your radar. Both these stocks had lost traction, but today you might just see an update. And of course, we'll keep an eye out on Metropolis. This was one of the top gainers in the hospital space. Yesterday, news coming in that Metropolis has purchased a diagnostic chain based out of New Delhi for about 230 crore rupees. The diagnostic chain detects cancer at its early stages, and these are the 3 or 4 stocks that I have in mind. Of course, Indraprastha Gas, remember, we are tracking it from 350 rupees onwards. The company needs for a bonus issue, and let us hope that these stocks remain in fine shape. Apart from that, let's get back to Sakshi. She will tell us what happens on Wall Street, where successive record highs are now meeting with a bit of selling pressure. Sakshi, what's the news on Nasdaq, S&P 500, and of course the Dow?
Well, yes, Shail, the US markets overnight, what we've seen is that on Monday's trading session, it was a bit challenging as far as the tech sector is concerned, as investors are now bracing up for the inflationary data as well. We've seen the S&P 500 drop by about 0.6%, the Dow Jones drop by 0.5%, the Nasdaq also down by 0.6% odd. This is after the chip maker Nvidia shares also fell 2.5% following news of antitrust investigation by a Chinese regulator as well. So some bit of challenges that impacted the sentiments on the Wall Street overnight. However, when we look at the Asia markets, they have advanced as China's top leaders have signaled bold stimulus next year as they seek to revive the world's second largest economy now. Benchmark stock indices in China and Hong Kong both jumped right in the opening trade, while those in Japan and South Korea also climbed as well. What we've also seen is that Beijing's announcement of more proactive fiscal measures and moderately looser monetary policy for the upcoming year will be boosting domestic consumption, and therefore you see an across-the-board sharp move. So China, for instance, is up by 1.4%, 0.9% of a jump for Hang Seng, Kospi up by 2.4%, and the Nikkei up by 0.09%. The GIFT Nifty trends are indicative of a flat start at 24,721. Let's see how that one really opens, but it will be with a positive bias for sure on that front. As far as the gold prices are concerned, they've surged to a 2-week high on Monday, gaining about 1% as China's central bank resumed those gold purchases after a 6-month pause as well. So spot gold there rose by about 1.2% to $2,665 per ounce. US gold futures also advanced by over 1% as well. Oil prices also climbed by more than 1%. This is also buoyed by the reports of China's first move towards loosening monetary policy since 2010, and that's aimed at stimulating the economic growth going forward. So the Brent crude futures were up by 1.5% to $72.1 a barrel, while the WTI crude gained about 1.74% in trade as well. Let's keep an eye out on the FII flows, like I mentioned, 724 odd crore rupees of a buying stance from the FIIs, while the DIIs net sold 1648 odd crore rupees worth of stocks in yesterday's trading action. In key stocks that you can keep an eye out on, look at Vodafone Idea. The board has approved proposal to raise 1980 odd crore rupees from entities belonging to promoter Vodafone Group PLC through preferential issue, and VI will actually issue shares to Vodafone Group entities Omega Telecom Holdings and Usha Martin Telematics worth about 1280 crores and 700 crores respectively. The issuance will involve 1.75 billion equity shares with a face value of 10 rupees each, and the issue price will be at 11.28 rupees. Let's look at Metropolis, something that even Shail marked. The board's approval for acquisition of specialized cancer diagnostics player Core Diagnostics, valuing core at 246.8 odd crore rupees. We'll see how this one gets reacted. Of course, yesterday it was already up by 2.5%. Tata Motors, the company has now hiked prices of vehicles across segments by 3%. So that's something that we will keep an eye out on. Remember, before this, we've also seen Hyundai talking about a price hike as well, and now it's Tata Motors which has also announced the same. Hyundai Motor is also planning to now install nearly 600 fast charging stations for EVs next 7 years, focusing on the key highways and major cities. So that's another space that Hyundai could be reacting to. BEL, it's bagged about 634 odd crore rupees of orders that Shell has also marked, so keep an eye out on that one. PG Electroplast, you can keep an eye out on. It successfully closed its QIP offer on Monday, just days after launching the issue to raise about 1500 crore rupees. It's now set an issue price of 699 rupees per share. That's approximately for 2.1 crore equity shares, which will be allotted to eligible qualified institutional buyers now. Let's look at Biocon. The company is likely to sell 2% stake in contract research and manufacturing services firm, that's Syngene, through block deals, with indicative price for sales pegged at 825 rupees per share. So we'll keep an eye out on that as soon as any time now that will take place. PFC, it's raised 6,252 odd crore rupees through issuance of bonds with different maturities right there. The company's raised about 3,200 crores via 15-year bonds at a coupon rate of 7.1% and 3,052 crores via 10-year bonds at a coupon rate of 7.1% as well. NHPC, we can keep an eye out on here too. The board is scheduled a meeting for December 12th to consider revised borrowing plan for the fiscal year 2025. As part of this plan, the company intends to raise 2,600 crores by issuing unsecured, redeemable, taxable, non-convertible bonds through private placement basis as well. Apart from this, we'll also keep an eye out on some brokerage houses reports as well. Swiggy is going to be in top radar for sure, because CLSA has initiated a buy call here with a target price of 708 on the stock, and the CLSA believes that the company has large and growing total addressable market with a clear early mover advantage. They also see execution improving with accelerating growth and improving profitability. They expect Indian quick commerce to grow at 6 times in FY24 to 27, and Swiggy to be one of the largest beneficiaries, as the company will likely to continue to lag Zomato, but they also believe this gap is in the price already, and that should be narrowing as well going forward from here. So those are some of the key stocks that you should definitely keep on your radar. Share.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will also keep an eye out on two insurance plays, LIC of India and of course Max Financial. The data that has come in for the month of November has been negative as far as the insurance business is concerned for LIC. Keep that in mind. And of course Max Financial, this is one of the outperformers as far as markets are concerned. If you look at how Max Financial has performed over the last expiry or so, the number will be right there in front of you. But keep these two stocks in mind as far as prices are concerned. And of course we have ICICI General Insurance that is showing a very strong move over the last 3 or 4 sessions, up 5% in the December expiry so far. So that's one sector to add. And of course zinc, which is Hindustan Zinc, prices of the underlying commodity in the markets rose substantially, modestly. So keep an eye out on zinc, Hindustan Copper, Hindustan Zinc, and of course the 2 or 3 metal counters, which is Steel Authority, Tata Steel, JSW Steel and Jindal Steel and Power. This is what we are looking at in terms of what the background is from the close of 3:30 p.m. yesterday to early morning trades. Mr. Raghavendra Singh, market expert, is with us, joining us on Market Today. Good morning to you, Raghavendra ji. Any 1 or 2 stocks that you think make sense at current level?
Sailji, I think, good morning, Sailji, good morning, Sakshi. First of all, market, Nifty and Bank Nifty is hovering in a very narrow range from past 3-4 days. And I believe it was, expected due to that we had seen a very strong move in the last week. Now we are trading around 24,600, 24,800 range. And I think, we can see 2-3 days more consolidation. And after that, I'm expecting a huge spot on the higher side. Reason is, if you can see, the hourly chart of Nifty, we are trading in the very narrow range and lower top, lower bottom formation, and the RSI statistics is in oversold zone. And I think there is a spurt waiting for some news or maybe any other news from the global market, so that maybe it can pull the Nifty on the higher side. So I'm expecting upside movement, and we have seen a very strong buy from the FII side, and and the auto stocks, Tata Motors, I'm expecting Tata Motors to touch around 850, 860 level. Apart from that, Aarti Industries is on the on the lower side at around 350, and there is small support around 345, 340, and I think Aarti Industry is it is time for Aarti Industry to buy at this level with the stop loss of 440, and the target price is 475, 480 level. So these two stocks are looking good. Shailji, we were discussing about RBI governor, new RBI governor. So new RBI governor, Mr. Sanjay Malhotra, he is a 1990 batch IS officer, and he served as the MD of REC also. So I think ये इनका अपॉइंटमेंट बहुत अच्छा रहेगा, एंड आरबीआई के लिए और मतलब हम सारे इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए, बिकॉज ही इज फ्रॉम द फाइनेंस बैकग्राउंड, और काफी अच्छा उन्होंने जहां भी रहे, चाहे वो वीएसटी काउंसिल के जब उस समय जब वो प्रेसिडेंट थे तब की बात, और अभी आज आरबीआई गवर्नर अपॉइंट हुए हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये हम सबके लिए, या मुझे लगता है कि इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल करके हो सकता है रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट कम करना स्टार्ट करे. सो मुझे लग रहा है कि बैंक निफ्टी इसको या बैंकिंग स्टॉक्स इसको जो है बहुत पॉजिटिव लेंगे, और मुझे लग रहा है कि अपसाइड की रैली बैंकिंग स्टॉक में आ सकती है.
That. Very good morning to you, Raghavendra. I'm going to be talking to you about a space that you have been far too long throwing your weight behind, and that is the metal space as well. You've been constantly talking on our channel that how you believe 2025 could be a year of metals as well. And now there is this fresh trigger that's coming in for the metals, and that's the Chinese government talking about stimulus going forward from here for the new year. How do you think that one should be now approaching the metal space? Somebody who's still not had enough exposure to metals, is this the right time?
Definitely, Sakshi. I think JSW Steel, Hindustan Zinc, Tata Steel, SAIL, Jindal Steel, all metal stocks are trading in a very small range, and I think it is time for them to break out on the higher side. JSW already given a breakout 950, 960. Jindal Steel definitely again hovering around 1000 level. Again, I'm expecting some it's a smart move upside. Metal price, gold and silver are again on the breakout side, and I think silver has given a very strong breakout on the chart above $32, and gold around 2700. So again, I'm expecting some good upside in the gold and silver, and apart from this, I think all metal stocks, all metal counters, global metal rally can start anytime. And I think again, I'm saying next 2 to 3 years is going for metals. So buy metals, hold it for next 2 to 3 years, and wait for right time to exit.
Right. 5 minutes to pre-open. This is going to be an exciting day ahead, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of action expected in metal counters. Sakshi and Raghavendra have just discussed this space, but what is also interesting is to look at Swiggy. Sakshi's mentioned the CLSA report. Although the data is pretty less because Swiggy just got listed last month, but still those who got into it have a 40% appreciation on their IPO investment. A quick one, Raghavendra, on both Swiggy and Zomato. What do you think are the charts telling you? Both near record highs.
Swiggy is in the continuous uptrend of forming higher bottom formation and the rounding bottom breakout. Again, there is a chance to touch around 580 level. But the indicators are indicating that overbought zone. Again, I'll suggest to wait for some correction in Swiggy, then you can enter. Zomato, yes, it is looking good, but there is a small resistance around 300, and there is a huge open interest at 300 call. So again, I'm expecting this stock to face some strong resistance around 300. Once this stock cross around 300, then we can expect 320, 325 levels.
Okay, got that. We'll keep an eye out on that too. But a slew of brokerage houses have also come out with their reports on the new governor being announced right there. So I'll just read that out because that will be something that the markets will also be reacting to today. Bank of America has come out with a report saying that Mr. Sanjay Malhotra will be taking charge of the RBI in a tricky period. He faces immediate challenge of dealing with sharper than expected slowdown in growth coupled with near-term volatility in inflation while also ensuring stable currency. Now, he's not had any strong statements except on the tax policy in the recent months, making his policy bias right now unclear as things stand. With the new governor being selected, the risks of intermediate rate cut, even if inflation comes off sharply, have declined materially. What does Nomura say? Nomura has come out with a report saying that another finance ministry insider has now taken helm at the RBI. Now, path is cleared for a more and urgent easing. While not a whole lot is known about Mr. Malhotra's views on the current economic issue, his experience has given him an acute appreciation of the government's revenue generation and importance of growth too. Now, there are three potential changes that could occur under the new RBI governor. Nomura believes first could be a likely shift towards more accommodative monetary policy. Second could be RBI governor and his team could also decide on the direction of macroprudential policies. Third, the RBI governor plays an important role in driving the central bank's currency management strategy. Third report is from MK. They believe initial discussions with some senior bankers indicate that Sanjay Malhotra is straightforward in policy communication. In his past role at the DFS, he would push banks to adopt and focus on technology, and also note that he has taken tough taxation decisions relating to capital markets as well. So all of this will be getting a reaction on in today's trading session right there. Specifically on the banks, Raghavendra, how do you expect them to react? That will be the closest to react to on this new announcement now today.
Sakshi, I think, the new RBI governor have, strong experience, handling the financial sector, being a GST, president, maybe the REC, MD, because that company is also dealing into energy and finance. So I think, the new governor, Mr. Malhotra, he has some challenges on the growth side, but I think he will definitely handle it very carefully. And I think banking and banking stocks can react positively. I'm expecting, because, I have no clue means how they are going to react, but I'm expecting, I'm very much positive, and I think bank and banking stocks will definitely react on the positive side.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, मंगलवार है तो मंगल ही होगा. 150 point uptick on the Nifty, 24,767. I hope it holds, but let us see how the markets will perform. Let me give you the good news first. ICICI Bank 3.9% higher, 1374. What is Axis Bank doing? Flat as flat can be, 1163. You have a strong move coming into State Bank of India, 12 rupees higher, 870. Perhaps the banking sector cheering the appointment of the new Reserve Bank of India governor. But on the back foot is HDFC Bank, 4.5% lower at 1781. This will improve for the better. These are very volatile early morning rates. They settle for a lot less. TCS 46 rupees higher, 44.98. Bajaj Finance 55 rupees higher, 69.22. And of course you have Infosys 67 rupees higher, an uptick of 3.5% at 1991. We'll very quickly dip into the F&O space and the cash space. Metropolis, fresh with the acquisition of an anti-cancer diagnostic chain, 10% higher, 2409. Idea Cellular, the allocation of shares at about a 35% premium to yesterday's market close has enthused investors, 10% higher at 8.89. You have ITI, strength again for the, this is a bit of a profit booking here, but we'll keep this in mind. What else is moving? Textile stocks, Trident, another 2.5% higher, 38.95. This is a trend that has started yesterday because of crisis in Bangladesh, where their main textile hub shut down because of internal problems, and local textile companies in India had a field day yesterday. Hospital chain Rainbow up 4.5%, 1739. You have Lupin 1.2% higher, and you have Indraprastha Gas headed for a bonus share 1.4% higher, 391. These are the moves that are coming in as far as prices are concerned in the cash market. Let's take a quick detour into F&O space. Any unusual stock that I see? TI India 1% higher, 3749. IRB Infra 1.7% higher, 60.4. Container Corporation in the green, 0.9% higher. Let's look at the most active counters, anything that catches my fancy. HDFC has improved its uptick from the low, now down just 16 rupees at 1854, and the Nifty is now down 37 at 24,578. Let's get Raghavendra into the conversation and talk about FMCG counters. A lot of losses coming in there, Raghavendra. Any stock on your charts which looks to have bottomed out after 2 days of consistent selling?
I think there is one stock, ITC. ITC have a strong base around 460. Now stock is hovering around 464, 465. Apart from this, I think Hindustan Unilever is also, trading at a very narrow range on the lower band. So I think these two stocks have potential to touch on the higher side from this level. It can take a reverse, apart from this, I think Godrej consumer is looking good on the chart. So Godrej can give a strong breakout. So Godrej, I think, have a very strong base around 1120, 1100. So once this stock hold this level, I think 1175, 1200 level can touch. So these three stocks are looking good, which can be, good for FMCG sectors.
Okay. Got that. So that's as far as the FMCG space is concerned. How about some of the stocks within the power space, Raghavendra? How are you really looking at the bounce that has returned on stocks like PFC, REC, even on NHPC? There's a whole lot of news flow as well that these companies are on fundraising spree too. How would you really look at the entire pack of power space, and where would you continue to be comfortable to put in fresh funds?
PFC is looking good, but I think it is trading in the very, overbought zone. There is an inverted hammer around 550. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि थोड़ा सा यहाँ से एक बार प्रॉफिट बुकिंग आ सकता है REC PFC में. But any dip will be used for buy at lower level. So I think buy on dip for REC PFC. Apart from that, Sakshi, I discussed with you around Synergy Green. तो ये स्टॉक भी बहुत अच्छा है, अभी 490 के आसपास ट्रेड हो रहा है. सो आई थिंक सिनर्जी ग्रीन इज अ स्टॉक व्हिच कैन टच अराउंड 550 600 लेवल ऑन द कैश साइड. तो ये मुझे लगता है कि सिनर्जी ग्रीन जो है, जो मैंने आपके साथ 400 के आसपास डिस्कस किया था, अभी 510 है. तो ये स्टॉक बेटर है PFC REC से. मुझे PFC REC में थोड़ा प्रॉफिट बुकिंग दिखाई दे रहा है.
905, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at two more stocks. Swiggy, after that massive upgrade coming in from CLSA, is trading 2.5% higher. Actually, now more, 3.75% higher at 557. Competitor Zomato is also in an uptick, 0.5% higher, 296.80. Remember, Zomato is already consolidating near record highs of 304, 305. And let us see how the report comes in into action as far as markets are concerned. What else is moving that I would like to highlight in terms of high beta counters? Tejas Networks 1.2% higher, 1354. Remember, the company just announced that it had won an equipment deal with Vodafone Idea for 3G and 4G network. Similarly, Siog Telematics, this is also a company which is in the business of putting up telecom towers, 1.4% higher, 1942. Strong move coming into Schneider Electric, 0.7% higher. Let's look at the PSU basket. It's been in top shape. ITI, no stopping it, 3.5% higher, 381. You have BEL, fresh order win, 1% higher, 317.15. Let's get Raghavendra's view on BEL. What chances, Raghavendra, that in December BEL will hit a fresh high?
BEL already, given a breakout above 300. So I think if we hold and manage 300 level, the stock has potential to touch 326 first target, and after that 340. So 340 above 340, we can expect some fresh 52 weeks high. But again, 314, 10 level is very strong base. So one can buy this stock with the stop loss of 310 and hold for 326 and 339 target. So buy on the BEL.
Okay. Buy on dips for BEL right there. The pre-open rates are settling in, 24,652 for the Nifty, 33 points higher in trade. Metals seem to be in top shape, 0.4% higher, and that could be shining bright. Apart from this, it could be pharma, realty, even PSU banks that could be opening with gains. Let's look at the top movers on the Nifty that could come in. BEL could open about 1% higher. JSW Steel, Infosys, Tata Motors after that price hike could also be looking up. Hindalco, Shriram Finance, Wipro, some of the IT pack stocks also returning in trade. Remember, there was this buoyancy just last afternoon, half an hour before that we actually saw. Let's get Raghavendra to talk about this entire IT pack right now. Where are you getting the confidence in the IT space? Do you think enough of the rally is out? Or do you think there is enough more to be had going forward from here on the IT pack particularly, Raghavendra?
I think Nifty IT index already given a strong breakout above 44,000. 44,800 is, it is trading around 44,800. Again, there is this, smart move on the higher side with the breakout of higher top, higher bottom. अब यहाँ से मुझे लग रहा है कि तो एक जो fresh breakout जो आएगा, they are waiting for some news. Infosys, TCS, Persistent, LTTS, all these stocks are on the verge of breakout. इन्फोसिस मुझे लग रहा है 2000 के ऊपर बहुत जल्द दिखाई देगा. टीसीएस 4500-4600 के ऊपर दिख सकता है. परसिस्टेंट 6500. तो यस, आईटी स्टॉक्स आर लुकिंग वेरी गुड एंड यहाँ पे बाई कर सकते हैं. अगेन वी कैन कीप अ स्टॉक ऑफ 1% 2% ऑन द लोअर साइड एंड होल्ड इट फॉर एटलीस्ट दिस एक्सपायरी. सो मुझे लग रहा है कि अगले मंथ तक एक बहुत बड़ी रैली जो है आ सकती है. बाई एंड होल्ड.
Okay. 9:10, ladies and gentlemen. We are 5 minutes away from what is going to be fairly okay kind of an outing. All four major indices, the IT index, the Nifty Bank, Nifty 500 and Nifty 50 are opening on a modest front foot. Remember, for the last 2 days, you've seen a bit of a selling pressure, but nothing to be worried about. At all-time high, ladies and gentlemen, or near all-time highs, you see several indices, and they are the Nifty small cap index. You have at the moment a lot of hectic activity coming in the small caps, and this is something that looks very, very attractive as far as traders are concerned, because this is where we have a lot of trader interest. Nifty micro cap 250 has hit a new all-time high, and of course the small cap indices, BSE small cap, the Nifty small cap index, are just a shade away from an all-time high. So please keep these spaces in mind, and of course how we look at the market. While many of these indices are at record high, Sakshi, the portfolios still continue to be pain, because indices are governed by weighted stocks. So if you are able to pull up 2 or 3 of them higher, which have a high weightage on the index, then the index is pushed higher, and well, a lot of portfolios on the retail space are still bleeding. What are you watching?
Well, absolutely, Shail. We are going to be seeing a whole lot of interest also emerge back in the PSU space that has been in fine shape. Stocks like Concor could be in focus. NHPC, even stocks like, within the railways pack, they could be also coming back. Defense stocks like HAL could also be in focus, right? There's some moves that are coming in back again. Let's also look at the broader markets to see if there are any other interesting names that one could be really looking at within the broader markets too. There is HEC Infra, then there is something called Aditya Birla Money is going to be another time in focus again. 6% higher is what it is getting indicative of in the pre-open trades. Then you also have Setco Automotive that has been in thick traction over the last few odd trading sessions. That could also be in focus, but particularly on the PSU space, Raghavendra, railways and defense, are you getting more confidence to put in fresh funds here?
I think defense stocks are looking good. I think, Majgaon Dock, HAL, BEL, all have given a breakout. And I think Majgaon Dock can touch 5,200, 5,300 level on the card. I think HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics can touch 4,800, 5,000 level. BEL, as we discussed, 345, 325 and 339 level. So these three stocks are looking good. And apart from that, railway stock, because we are heading towards the budget of 25, 26. So I think railway stock can give a very strong rally from this level. So IRCTC, Titagarh Wagon and other railway stocks are looking good. IRCTC, IRIDA, and IRFC, all railway related stocks can give a strong breakout from this level. So again, these two stocks, defense and railway, is the main theme for budget. And I think till the budget, we can see a very sharp, upside move from this level.
Okay. We also will welcome now viewers,
Fair
Mr.
point,
Vineet Bulinchkar, Head of Research at Ventura Securities, who's now joining right in. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Bulinchkar, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Very quickly, your comments on the new governor, Mr. Sanjay Malhotra, and what does it mean for the markets? We are already hearing different comments. There could be an indication of accommodative policy, but at the same time, he's known for putting higher taxes on capital markets. How would you really expect the monetary policy and the markets under his new reign?
So I think it is going to be more of routine and guidance by data. I think RBI has stuck to data, and I believe that the earlier regime's efforts will carry through, and we do not expect a significant rate cut unless and until inflation comes under control. And Godrej Consumer just yesterday has pointed out that inflation remains sticky, growth is slowing down. So we're tending to get into a stage of stagflation. It's a little too early to say all that, but it's not good news for consumption trends. On the other hand, if you see the rupee has been defended vociferously by the RBI. And, there are some reports which say that RBI could be sitting on some losses in defending the rupee. It could be a decision gone wrong. And there is a possibility that the new governor might let the rupee drift downwards. In that case, IT stocks look very good. And export stocks like textiles will also do really well.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, the pre-open has morphed into the market open. Nifty is flat, 6 points higher. The Nifty Bank will be a critical index to watch, given the fact that a new gentleman has taken charge of Mint Street. Flat as flat can be, the IT index 86 points higher. Let's get to the individual index heavyweights. On the first look, 6 out of top 10 index heavyweights are in the green. Let's start with the best of them. Infosys 0.5% higher, up 11 rupees at 1934. You have a green tick on HDFC Bank, 2.5 rupees higher, 1871. A green tick on ICICI Bank and SBI as well. So this is looking positive. What else is moving? Bajaj Finance, this is something that I have been tracking since midweek last, 45 rupees higher. You have a strong move coming into Tata Motors, 4 rupees higher, 803. Let's shift focus to the cash counters. There's absolutely no stopping ITI. Remember, we caught it somewhere in the 320, 340 zone. Now 7.5% higher, again top traded, about 100 crores worth already transacted. Syngene up 2%. There's a block happening. Parent Biocon selling 2% stake. What else is looking strong? BEL news driven, 0.8% higher. The order flow for 634 being appreciated very well by the market. It's all and all a very good move for textile stocks led by Trident, 5.5% higher, 40.05. What else is moving? Tejas Networks, an order win from Vodafone Idea, 1.7% higher, 1361. Metals in top shape. Lloyd's Metals, this is something that Vineet had suggested at about 700 rupees. He's with us today. We'll take a quick one from him as far as Lloyd's Metal is concerned. What else is moving? Let's look at the entire metal space. This should be good. National Aluminium 1% higher, 252.70. Jindal Steel and Power 1% higher. JSW Steel 0.5% higher. NMDC Steel Authority up in the greens. Let's look at PSUs and then we'll go to Raghavendra. PSUs have been in top form. Okay, we've discussed ITI. Let's look at what else is moving. LIC in the green, 0.6% higher. Much of it is even Stevens. HOCL 2.8% higher. We don't normally track that. So it's metals, it's news driven. BEL, NMDC, BPCL, BEML. Let's look at defense. Let's see what is happening on Mazgaon. Okay, nothing much here. Raghavendra ji, any view in the market that you would like to take as a practical call in the first 5-7 minutes of trade? Anything that looks good?
Again, as I said कि एक थोड़ा रेंज में है जो थोड़ा वेट करना चाहिए. मुझे लग रहा है कि थोड़ा सा वेट करके अगेन आई सेड कि आप जैसे मेटल स्टॉक्स JSW is still looking good. Apart from that, Swiggy, as we said, as we discussed in the morning, so it is trading above 550. Now मुझे लग रहा है कि ये 570-580 तक जा सकता है. JSW स्टील, जिंदल स्टील मुझे लग रहा है कि एक बार 1010-1020 तक जाएगा. और JSW स्टील भी अगेन मुझे लग रहा है कि एक बार आपको यहाँ से 1030-35 तक दे सकता है. तो अभी फिलहाल इट इज वेरी अर्ली टू से बिकॉज first half an hour is for BTST, STBT, so we have to wait for 10-15 minutes more. After that, IT stock, metal stocks, and has a Swiggy मुझे लग रहा है थोड़ा मोमेंट दे सकता है.
Swiggy is already up 4% on the back of the CLSA upgrade, initiating of the buy, and 708, almost a 30% upside that they had expected. Vineet, let's come to you on Swiggy now. With these sharp upward targets coming in from some of the brokerage houses, how are you looking at Swiggy afresh? Do you think even beyond 555, there is a lot of upside that one should be chasing beyond the kind of move that we've already seen from the time it's got listed until now?
See, last time they did that acquisition of Links, which is a electronic distribution firm. Those valuations are need to be captured into price. I think that's being underplayed, and that can lead to a very significant rally in the stock of Swiggy.
And between Swiggy and Zomato, what is your preferred bet right now?
So earlier I'd said Swiggy, but you can't really distinguish between the two. I think both of them will perform really well. So one has got District and the other has got Links. So these are two new platforms which are opening up, and I expect them to do rather well.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as Swiggy and Zomato and the food delivery space is doing. Another stock that's actually doing very well is Greaves Cotton. Now there is news that KDS Securities has bought about 12 lakh shares from the open market right there, and the stock has shot up in the early morning trading action. Greaves Cotton about 7.5% higher in trade. What else is moving is Wari Energies. That's also up by about 5.5% higher. That's buzzing in trade pretty sharply as well. Beyond that, in the broader markets, what else is buzzing is ITI again, something that Shell has been marking, 7% higher. That's the move that one is continuing to see on the higher side. Apart from this, Aditya Birla Money that I had marked 13.5% higher for this one, consistently moving on the higher side as well. So those are the some of stocks that are actually buzzing pretty sharply. Real estate is now pulling up a percent higher for this one. You have small caps that are up half odd percent. IT stocks gaining strength about half odd percent now. Pharma on the back of Syngene that is in the positive zone as well, also on the move. Metals, FMCG recovering from yesterday's sharp blows, about 0.3% higher. PSU banks that's also up marginally higher in trade. What's not doing well is the auto that's in the back foot, and private banks which are absolutely flat right now. Shail, what else are you looking at?
Well, Sakshi, I think it's turning out to be a fairly okay kind of an opening. Nifty is up 24 points. IT index is up 200 points. This is the view that Vineet pointed out, the weakness in the rupee, and therefore you see a fairly sharp kind of an uptick that is coming here. A bit of a profit booking happening on some frontline counters such as MCX. Nothing to be worried about, 6830, 0.2% lower. Let's look at the broader markets and get in a view from Vineet on some of the stocks. Any all-time highs in early trade? ITI, Lloyd's Metal. Vineet, I distinctly remember you discussing Lloyd's Metal at about 680, 700 rupees. Now in 4 digits, 1108. What is fueling this rally, and is it still worthwhile?
Definitely, it's still worthwhile. I think the stock is headed to double from here over the next 2-3 years. The reasons being that, it's a very secular run because it is coming out from expansion of production and forward integration, which the company is doing entirely through, internal proceeds. They're not raising any debt. So, it is one of the first metal companies which is not raising any debt to expand. And, they'll be investing almost 20,000 crores over the next 3 to 4 years to ramp up capacities and get into value-added products.
Okay, let's look at the pockets that are doing well. IT is further garnering all the strength. Let's look at the gainers. Emphasis is up 1.2%. LTI Mindtree. You have HCL Tech, Infosys, L&T Technology Services, Wipro, Persistent, and TCS. All of them up and about in trade. We need to you. IT Pack. Are you enthused with the kind of moves consistently that we are seeing here, or do you think enough rally has unfolded already and one has missed the bus in terms of catching the right entry points in IT space?
You know what? I think the rupee devaluation is going to have a significant run for these stocks. And, from here, we will see some more gains coming into IT stocks, given the fact that, I expect rupee to trade somewhere between 86 and 87 over the next 1 quarter.
Okay, 925. Let's look at any volume buzzers that might have come into the market. Syngene, this is doing well. Again, as I've pointed out, you have the 2 percentage point block sale by Biocon. Let's look at what is happening on Biocon. This is a stock that saw selling pressure for various reasons. Biocon about 1% higher, 373. A quick one, Raghavendra, from you on Syngene.
I think Syngene have potential to touch
Raghavendra ji,
around
Syngene.
Syngene International, right? Syngene Pharma.
Yes.
Yes, Syngene.
Yes.
So again, the stock have potential to touch around 925 because there is a strong gap between 900 to 925. So the stock can touch around 925 once this stock break and sustain above 900. Lower side again 870, 869 is the strong base. So I think the rally is backed by good volume. So the stock can touch 825, 925, 930 level. One can definitely buy with the stop loss of 860, 865.
Okay, got that. Vineet, let's bring you in on the entire pharma space as well to help us understand where are you keeping your focus right now? Do you think Syngene has enough and more to go from here on? And are there any other specific preferred stocks there?
So, I would be very, very on pharma stocks, particularly because, a few days back, Trump made a very important statement that he wants entire pharma pack manufacturing to be done in the US itself. Now, that can be a little bit of posturing on his side because that's what he does. But, that can put the spokes in the wheels of pharma rally for some time until, the clouds clear until probably till the end of Jan. So till the end of Jan, I would want to stay clear of the pharma sector. If you really want to be invested in the pharma sector, look at CDMO stocks and look at local companies which are purely focused on the Indian markets.
Okay. So far, a bit of profit booking in the markets. These are early stages. Maybe, just maybe, you'll see a bit of a retracement happening in policy bazaar. Remember, we've seen a fabulous rally. The counters at 2070, down 60 rupees. Maybe a put, but I'd rather be circumspect. On 25th of November, the price on PB Fintech was 1677. It peaked at almost 2200 yesterday, 2211, and now we see profit booking happening. Swiggy taking it away 3% higher. There's no stopping Sagility. This is a newly listed IPO. I think it was at 30 rupees, went as low as 27, and from then it's a consistent uptick, 5% higher. This is a direct play on the US back-end insurance market, and a company which has good business, good, how should I say, top line and bottom line, and was priced very, very adequately when it floated an IPO. Trident 3.66% higher, 39.88. Let's look at some new highs that I would like to mark. Premier Energies, this is again the solar space, 2% higher, 1318. You have the hospital chains, Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences, KIMS, at 627, fresh record high. Kitex Garments, again textiles, 5% higher, circuit up, 800.3. You have Wanbury, this is a pharma company, 303, up 4%, fairly decent volumes for Wanbury. Another textile company, AYM Syntex, 295, 5% higher. And of course, you have Max Health, 1170. This is again a hospital chain. And Sakshi, there's no stopping Birla Money, again 11.5% higher, 239. So this is how markets are shaping up. Individual stock performances are getting rewarded, but flat to sideways to profit booking trend on top indices. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Since you're talking about the green energy space, I think this is buzzing. Bari Energies is buzzing on the back of new orders. Premier Energies you marked as well. And there's also going to be a newer entrant in the IPO space. Now, Morgan Stanley Infra Partners backed Continuum Green Energy has filed for 3650 odd crore rupee of an IPO right there. Vineet, let's get you into this conversation. Green energy, renewable energy is one space that most of the investors are eyeing as a long-term theme. What is the best way to curate a portfolio of some of these stocks within their larger portfolio? Any key stocks that are a must-have in the long-term portfolio which are now existing in the stock markets, or any IPOs that you're looking at as well?
So, NTPC Green is not only doing 60 gigawatts of production of renewable energy, but also spending 30,000 crores in evacuation, getting into T&D. I think it can emerge as a very, very big play. I like NHPC has a portfolio of 2 gigawatts going to about 17 gigawatts in the next 7 years, growth of 7x, available at a very good, decent dividend yield of about 3%. So all these stocks, these two stocks to me appear very cheap. And I'm very bullish on these two counters from multiplication point of view from current levels.
Okay, got that. NHPC and NTPC Green, we'll keep an eye out on that. Raghavendra, do you want to also take a pick on this one? This is one space that you've also been tracking very closely. Your top bets here?
NHPC again, trading around 85, 86. So one can keep a stop loss of 82 and hold for 90, 93 levels. Apart from this, again, I said NHPC, apart from that, REC, PFC. These two stocks again trading on the higher side with a bit of overbought, Joe. But again, one can definitely buy on dip.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the markets are flat as flat can be. Let's look at some volume buzzers that might have now come up. Glenmark, 3.4% higher, 1566. Let's see what the chart of Glenmark is telling us. This is a fairly high beta counters, and this is done super well. Remember, in the NSE 500, the top traded volume buzzer is Syngene. Let's get a good view coming in from our friend Raghavendra. Glenmark Pharma, what are the charts telling you?
ग्लेनमार्क फार्मा साहिल जी अभी चार्ट पे तो जबरदस्त ब्रेकआउट दे रहा है. अभी जो रिसेंट टॉप था उसका ब्रेकआउट हो रहा है अबव 1563. So again, there is a small gap between 1632 and 1575. So there is a strong resistance around 1565, 1575. एक बार ये लेवल ब्रेक करेगा 1565 75 का, मुझे लगता है 1630 तक जाना चाहिए. बिल्कुल बाई करना चाहिए with the stop loss of 1545, 1540. Keep an eye on Glenmark Pharma. Indicators are indicating that अभी बॉटम आउट हो गया है. सो अगेन थोड़ा ऊपर जाना चाहिए यहाँ से.
Right. So that's as far as the pharma pack is concerned. Vineet, I also wanted to discuss the auto pack with you, especially stocks like Tata Motors. How are you really looking at that space? Because Tata Motors has been long in a consolidation zone. It's finally, trying to hover above 800 mark now. But for somebody who is a long-term investor, is this a good accumulation zone? Will it continue to move up, or will there be further hurdles?
I would like to watch the numbers of JLR which come out on 14th or 15th of every month.
Okay.
And the reason being that, all the European players have reported steep declines in profitability. And Tata Motors will not be an exception. So if they are able to hold against the trend in the international markets, then I will get positive. Else I will just give it a miss.
Okay, and beyond the Tata Motors stock then within the auto pack, where else are you keeping your focus?
I think the Ola electric play looks interesting at current levels.
Okay.
They're ramping up distribution very aggressively, and they want to go from 1,000 to around 4,000 new stores. So they're going to put on a very significant muscle in terms of reach and top of the mind recall. And if they can sustain their market share at 30% along with the big boys, then we can very well say that it has become a very strong incumbent which is ready to disrupt the markets.
Fair point. 9:36, ladies and gentlemen. Much as hard as we try to keep our bullish instincts in curb, there is no stopping ITI. Now in a different orbit altogether. Not only is it a fresh high, but it's also breached the 400 mark, 401, 8% higher. Please keep this one on your radar. It's increasingly difficult to take a view coming in. Bajaj Finance is something that needs to be checked with Raghavendra. This is an underperformer, and is now getting its mojo back. Your view, Raghavendra, on Bajaj Finance?
Bajaj Finance neckline breakout above 6700 and I think हमने ये चैनल पे बात भी किया था अभी अराउंड ट्रेडिंग अराउंड 6950 now अभी ये स्टॉक 7200 is the level which I am expecting to touch in the next week and once this stock cross and break and cross above 7200 then 73 75 and 7600 is the target so definitely buy on dip Bajaj Finance not only Bajaj Finance we can check पूना वाला पिन कार बेट स्टॉक इज ऑल्सो लुकिंग गुड और वो भी मुझे लग रहा है कि थोड़ा यहाँ से एक अच्छा खासा ब्रेकआउट मिल सकता है तो ओवरऑल एनबीएफसी सेक्टर इज ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ ब्रेकआउट बिकॉज ऑल एनबीएफसी स्टॉक्स आर अंडर परफॉर्मिंग फ्रॉम पास्ट 2 to 3 months so again there is a scope and there is a hope for entire सेक्टर और मुझे लग रहा है कि सर यहाँ से भी फार्मा आईटी रैली हो चुकी है तो अब यहाँ से जो नेक्स्ट लेग ऑफ रैली आएगी वो जितने एनबीएफसी हैं जितने बैंकिंग स्टॉक्स हैं उसमें आ सकती है
Okay, got that. So that's the move that's being seen. You know what's pulling up in trade is Nykaa. Within the F&O space, it's 5% higher in trade. Raghavendra, first to you. Are you going to be chasing this move? What's behind this surge?
No, Sakshi, I'm not expecting a very strong upside. But again, this stock have potential to touch around 183, 180, 85 level. There is a strong resistance around 180. So मुझे लग रहा है वहां जाके थोड़ा सा रुकेगा. But yes, bottom out हो चुका है स्टॉक यहाँ से रिवर्सल जो लिया हुआ है ये बेस बनना चाहिए 160, 165, 770 का. ये बेस बनने के बाद मुझे लग रहा है कि स्टॉक हैव टच पोटेंशियल है इसके अंदर 200 के ऊपर जाने का बट स्टिल 180 के आसपास थोड़ा सा स्ट्रॉन्ग रेजिस्टेंस है एक बार वो लेवल क्रॉस करता है विद द वॉल्यूम देन अगेन वी कैन एंटर एंड वी कैन कीप अ स्टॉप लॉस ऑफ 175.
Okay, got that. Let's get Vineet also into the conversation of the new age tech space right there, Vineet. We've seen stupendous rally unfold on Zomato, on Swiggy, on even Paytm and PB Fintech. There's a remarkable move. But Nykaa, Honasa, these have been the laggards, so also some of the others. How are you looking at these beauty plays right there? Is it still a no-go area for these two?
I think Nykaa would be a better bet than Honasa Consumer. I think Honasa somewhere they've lost a plot. And, in our interactions with the company also, when the price was about 450, 500, it seemed unjustified based on the kind of growth rates that they were talking of. So we've seen some heady growth happen in the company before listing. But, now the growth has become extremely pedestrian. And given that, I think I would give Honasa a skip and maybe look at Nykaa because, it will become the default play for discretionary spending, especially in the BPC space.
One thing good about Vineet is that he pulls, he doesn't left any punch as far as his view on the market is concerned and on individual stocks. So we are very grateful for that, Vineet, for this, how should I say, unfiltered and absolutely heartfelt view on valuations as also quality stocks that one can pick up. Okay, I think the day belongs to the auto ancillary space. We've seen a fairly okay move coming into Varroc Engineering. This is the auto ancillary to primarily the Bajaj Group based out of Pune. 8% higher, 578. You have a strong move coming in on Omax Auto, 1.3% higher, 128.7. Precall is in good shape. Bharat Forge, which recently did a QIP, is about 0.6% higher, 1372. Let's get Vineet into the conversation. Vineet, any particular auto ancillary you find doing pretty well and can be added to long-term portfolios?
I think I would look at Motherson Sumi. I expect that stock to do really well. But, it will be over a period of time. Right now, you should be accumulating this stock very slowly and nothing much more other than that.
Okay, got that. Well, apart from this, Vineet, the other space that I wanted to get a sense from you is the real estate space. We've seen macro tech developers continue to outperform. Would you stick with that? Is there anything other than macro tech that's looking interesting to you even at this stage? How are you really approaching the space right now? It's been an outperformer, we know, for the third year running. Is there more steam?
So have a look at Suntech Realty. I think that stock is extremely cheap, significant value. We had initiated coverage on that stock, and all the negatives associated with the company have been kind of addressed, especially with its BKC portfolio. And if you really want to have a reasonable return on a real estate stock, I think Suntech Realty is the one.
Right.
9:42, ladies and gentlemen. This is just the right time to thank Raghavendra. But let's take a view from him on Muthoot Finance. This is a breakout that is happening in the FNO space as also in the NBFC space. A very sharp uptick for the last 3 days and 2047. What are the medium term charts of Muthoot Finance telling you? Today the counter is up 2.8%. Yesterday's rally was 2%. Day before yesterday about 1% higher. All told, it's been a great outperformer for the month of December.
Shelby, as I said, overall, all NBFC stocks are, on the verge of breakout. Muthoot Finance is one of the stocks which is trading around 2000 level, 2040. Previous high was around 2070, 2100 level. So again, the stock is trading around, 52 weeks high. Once this level is broken, I think 22, 2300 level is on the card. So जितने भी NBFC स्टॉक है, नॉट ओनली मुथूट फाइनेंस है, बजाज फाइनेंस ले लो, चाहे आप बाकी और जो भी NBFCs हैं वो ले लीजिए, टाटा कैपिटल है, मुझे लग रहा है कि जितने भी ये NBFCs हैं अब ये यहाँ से बहुत अच्छा जो ब्रेकआउट देंगे. सो अगेन M&M फाइनेंस, श्रीराम फाइनेंस, चोला फाइनेंस, आप कुछ का भी नाम ले लो, ऑल और ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ ब्रेकआउट और अब यहाँ से एक शानदार रैली होने वाली है. तो मुथूट फाइनेंस डेफिनेटली target is 2170 2200 with the stop loss of 2024. So one can definitely keep an eye on Muthoot Finance and buy and hold it.
Okay. Well, Vineet, would you also come in on the entire wealth creation, NBFC space, capital market related stocks? This space has been continuing to go up and go up pretty strongly. Has a large part of the rally already been done and dusted? Do you think still there is enough opportunity for people to enter afresh? I mean, like stocks like Nuvama Wealth, NAM India, Angel One, 361 WAM, we've seen CDSL, BSE at record highs. The entire space seems to be a buzz with all the action. But is it too late now?
No, I think 361 and Nuvama have a lot of, space to grow. I think these stocks are still undervalued. AMC stocks also looking extremely good, NAM and, all the others. KFIN is one of our favorites. I think among the, financialization space stocks, I think KFIN is the one which we think
Hello?
can go spaces.
Message देख लीजिए. Message देख लीजिए.
Yes, please carry on, Vineet.
Yeah, so these are some of the names. We in the broking space, we also like Motilal Oswal.
Okay.
That stock should do well. So these are some of the names that come to light.
Okay. Got that. So that's as far as the broking houses space is concerned.
Gentlemen. Okay. Broking, Sakshi, they've been doing very well. You've seen the kind of move that's come into Anand Rathi. Both you and I have tracked it, as also Angel One. Yesterday, the counter hit an all-time high of about 3,500, and of course, Motilal Oswal now back in 4 digits. Last I checked, Motilal Oswal was in Okay, 988 today, but 1008 is what we saw yesterday. And coming back into action is the entire space as far as pharma is concerned. Lupin 2126, 2% higher. Hindustan Aeronautics 0.5% higher, 4641. Raymond clicking well, 1693, about 1% higher. So gains are modest, but metals, as we've been pointing out for the last 2 or 3 sessions, are doing phenomenal well. Jindal Steel and Power, maybe you'll see a 4-digit soon, up 3.1%. This is how the space is shaping there.
Okay, Vineet, another space that I wanted to draw your attention is again, the kind of moves that we have been seeing on again the defense and the railway space again. How are you really looking at the opportunities there? Do you think fresh investments can be done?
I think, the defense is at a very interesting phase right now on a global basis. If you consider 4 countries, US, Israel, France, and Russia are the ones who, are the exporting nations, along with India now. And all these 4 countries are at war. They've got their stocks, you know, at very low inventory levels. And this is where India steps in with its ancillary products and ammunition. And we are also fairly price competitive. And countries, if they want to buy American stuff, it's too expensive, and they cannot buy Russian stuff because fear of sanctions. So I believe that India is in a very sweet spot, and
Okay.
all the players in the defense space should do very well over the next couple of years.
Any preferred names that you could suggest?
PTC Finance, PTC Industries is what I like.
Okay.
You can look at BDL.
Okay.
Apart from that, Lokesh Machines is one company which makes,
Yes.
small arms. So these
Yes.
are some of the stocks that we like. Then, obviously Zentech, which is into drones. I think, there the story is only getting started. Although we've seen the stock move from 2 digits to almost 4 digits. But, still there is a lot of room to, because the future is all about drones and missiles.
Okay, PTC Industries, BDL, Lokesh Machines, Zentech is something that we should definitely keep an eye out on the defense space. Now is the right time for somebody who's looking at real long time as well. So that's as far as the defense space is concerned. Another pack, Vineet, that we forgot to ask you is the Adani Group that we always discuss. Why I'm asking this is, again, there's a fresh trigger. Yesterday at the Rajasthan conclave, what we saw is that Adani Group has talked about an $88 billion investment plan, that is 7.5 trillion rupees in Rajasthan, as has been announced by Mr. Gautam Adani right there. A slew of global voices now backing Adani Group, saying that all that US indictment was probably too much, too overdone. Your own sense of how things will shape up now? Do you think the ghosts of the past will be buried pretty soon now?
I think one should, just buy these stocks and, keep them in lock and key. Don't trade in them.
Yeah.
Most of these stocks trade at about 50% of their intrinsic worth. So they have almost 80 to 100% appreciation potential over the next 2 to 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And given this kind of growth, I think, you just have to let this ghost of Soros die down. And, the government is attacking this very aggressively. And, once it becomes uh, once the investors move away from there, I think the stocks will then come into their own.
951, ladies and gentlemen, that is the view that is on the Adani pack. Let's look at what these stocks are doing. Sakshi, they've also slipped off my radar. I used to have this group of 10 right there in front of me, but I haven't marked them for quite a while. And Vineet very rightly says it's available at pretty cheaply from at least the margin safety point of view from their all-time highs. Let's nevertheless mark them. Okay. Let's start with the cement twins ACC and Ambuja, where there is absolutely no doubt on the balance sheet, there is absolutely no doubt on the quality, as also the long term strength of the counters. ACC 2266 in the green, 6 rupees higher. Ambuja in the green, 571.85. Ambuja has been one of the most aggressive buyers of mid cap cement capacity across India, and has added aggressively to its installed capacity by buyouts. What else is happening? Adani Total Gas, a rupee higher, nothing can be made out from that one. But the two other businesses, which is actually three other businesses, Adani Enterprises, India's largest operator of airports, 2492, Adani Ports 1261, and Adani Power 532. Let's get Vineet into the conversation. Vineet, which of the Adani stocks you would buy at current prices, keep them under lock and key, and maybe look at them 3 years hence?
So, the 3 year perspective, Adani Enterprises any day, followed by Adani Green and Adani Ports in that order.
Okay.
Which was the first one? Adani?
Adani Enterprises.
Okay. So the parent.
Yeah.
Adani Enterprises, Green and Total.
No, and Ports.
Yes. So 3 years hence, all of us will again reconvene, ladies and gentlemen. Take a photograph of stock prices today, and let us see what happens. Actually, Sakshi, it's really important to build the long-term portfolio in this kind of trades as well, investments as well. What will happen 3 years next? You know, people are only bothered about 3 minutes from now. But what really matters is what you do today, which will be of immense importance on the compounding part of the market. The stocks that Vineet has mentioned have seen substantially higher all-time highs, and they may even fall from current levels. But we are looking at a 3-year period, and this is what you need to keep in mind, that buy for a period of 36 to 60 months. If you get a huge uptick in the middle, of course book some profit, but at the same time have a horizon which is beyond the most immediate. That is how great wealth is created in portfolios. Vineet, anything else in terms of Lloyd Metal, Suntech Realty, and these three that you mentioned that you would want the long-term portfolio to have, which can be kept under lock and key for 3 to 5 years?
I think Krishna Diagnostics is another stock that strongly comes to mind. This company has, following the PPP route of business development, and they will do at least 20 to 25% growth over the next 3 to 4 years very comfortably. So if a stock is compounding at 25% business, then the stock will obviously kind of, more than double from here. It can possibly treble in the next 5 years. So this is one stock that we like from current levels.
Okay. Got that. So we'll keep that also in our radar. Krishna Diagnostics, Lloyd Metals, Suntech Realty, Adani Enterprises, Green Ports. You've also marked NTPC Green, NHPC, and Ola Electric. These are some of the stocks that you marked for the long term. Of course, within defense, you marked PTC Industries, BDL, and Zen Technologies as well. As some of the stocks that could be definitely seen for the long term right there for investors. All right, Vineet, we will leave you at that. Thank you so much for all your time and for sharing these wonderful insights. It's always a pleasure to listen to all your wonderful insights and some of the clear anecdotes and the analysis that you share with all our viewers behind your research that shows up very, very clearly and gets proven also. We've seen so many instances of your stocks doing very well on the markets right there after your recommendation, and our viewers also benefiting from the same. Thank you so much for being with us on this morning edition of Market Today. All right, viewers, we'll start wrapping up the morning trade now. We're just about 4 minutes from the market. Today's morning edition's close 24,654, and that's a bit of positive that at least we're back into the green. Let's hope it sustains throughout the course of the rest of the day right there. It is the IT space that is clearly in the winning zone right now. Infosys is one of the top contributors to the kind of gain that we are seeing on the Nifty IT as well as on the Nifty as well. 1.7% higher for Infosys. Beyond this, it is LTI, Mindtree, Wipro, HCL Tech, Emphasis, HCL Tech, Persistent, L&T Technology Services, even TCS and Coforge that continue to show up all those gains right there. Now up 0.8%. The real estate space follows with 0.8% gains too. Metals also shine bright in trade. About 0.5% of a gain can be seen on this one. PSU banks are about 0.5% higher, financial services as well. Small caps doing well, about 0.3% up. Now even the private banks are picking up pace now. Barring the auto and the infra media stocks, which are lagging with some losses in the trade, rest of the pockets are still holding up. The PSE index, although is up just 0.2%, but several of the stocks within the power space like RDC, PFC are doing well. Metal Pack, Steel Authority, NMDC, they are doing very well. The oil marketing companies are also up and about. IOC, for instance, is up by 1.1%. You also have GAIL that's up by 0.25% right there. On the Nifty, you have Shriram Finance, Infosys, Bajaj Finserv, Wipro, and even Tata Motors. Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance both are in actually thick shape within the top movers. Whereas on the lower side, you have Bharti Airtel that's actually slipped now. ONGC, Trent, M&M, Dr. Reddy's, and Bajaj Auto. So the auto space clearly that has slipped. Trent is seeing some profits being taken off, and Bharti Airtel that has slipped as well. On the F&O space, now you have FSN e-commerce that's the top mover with 4.6% gains. Jindal Steel, something that even Raghavendra was marking clearly on his top radar, that's buzzing. M&M Financial Services, Cyient, these are the ones that are winning. On the lower side, however, you have stocks like Kalyan Jewellers, LIC, Oracle Financial and PB Fintech that have now slipped into the red. Anything else, Shail, that you'd like to mark before we end the show?
I think the IT space, lots of traction coming in. TCS 0.5% higher, 44.73. HCL Tech 1.2% higher, 1933.4. Birla Soft is in top shape, 1% higher at 613.10, and of course there is no stopping the AMC space. The top one today is UTI AMC 1391. This is 1.8% higher. Sakshi.
All right, viewers, garnering strength on the Nifty, 24,670 right now, 50 points higher. There is momentum, and that's largely been driven by the IT space. Let's see how this continues throughout the course of the day. We'll track the market momentum for you in various shows throughout the course. So stay tuned. There's enough and more action to be unfolded on your screens going forward. With the most of the immediate key indicators now out of the way, what is it that the markets are really pinning their hopes on for a clear direction going forward from here? Of course, as we move closer to the end of the year, we are expecting a Santa Claus rally to really come up and come up strong. There were signs earlier. Will this continue to sustain? And what will drive the Santa rally really?
Good morning. Globally, the Santa Claus rally is actually far more clearer simply because you have Trump in place. All his soundbites are positive for the markets, U.S. market, and there's going to be another rate cut in the U.S. On December 18th. So I think as far as so that will help all our Indian export sectors. IT will continue to do well. Pharma will relatively do okay. Textiles, Indian textiles will do okay. Now, I think what is necessary from an Indian perspective is a repo rate cut by RBI for Indian IT companies. Rather than waiting until February, I think it needs to be sooner because growth has slowed down at the GDP level as well as at the corporate level.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business